Well, I finally figured out the structure on the wings needed to be changed. A little bit more geometrical, less round. That seemed to solve a lot of problems. Adding a little bit more structure to the wing using the little model as a reference point for the composition. Now, this is what we've been waiting for. Adding a little bit more attitude and a little gesture to it. You'll notice I'll tilt the head down here pretty soon and start laying up the hands, getting the gesture. I haven't got the gesture quite right with the hands, but this is all part of solving the problems right here, right now. What I'm questioning is if I'm to carve this in stone, do I want to have the hands close up against the chest and the belly so I don't have to do a lot of digging in and scooping away material in back? That's always problematic. So that's what's going through my mind. How am I going to clear the material in back of the hands if I have them outreached? Even the hands of the most beautiful woman can appear to be claw-like. So therefore we need to make a study of the hands. If you want to be able to do hands and feet and knees, these are similar to the face. They are bony structures. To get the characteristic of a hand, you must understand the bones of the hands, the same way as well as the feet and the knees. These are usually problem areas for many artists, so we need to make a study of the bones and the ligaments to get the true expression. My studio, I have ample plaster casts to study. I have all these plaster casts. These are 19th century Italian conventions for sculpting female hands. Notice the fattiness. You find this in children and overweight people. Being able to add the fat to the hands will make it a little less claw-like and a little more elegant. Slightly fatty tissue represents life because it's convex. Anytime you have concave, it represents death. Sculpturally, this model of an elderly woman's hand is closer to a young, thin woman's hand today because it's bony and lacks fat. One of the most important things we can do when we model the figure in clay, even painting and drawing, is stand back from the work. The most important thing I'm doing here in just a moment is stand back and get a sense of what it looks like. You got to go back and forth continually. Stand back from your work, go back, come forward. I'll be struggling with this hand gesture for quite a few minutes, trying to make a decision as to how it's going to be finished in the stone, and as well as getting the expression just right. So I'll be playing with this for quite a while, quite a few minutes, just to get the hands set right. It's okay to dig into your work and give it a little bit more strength. I dig in here and find that I need to add some don't figure out what I'm doing right there. I'm adding strength to the arm. Sometimes you have to dig in, remove wire. Sometimes you dig in and you add wire. Take the hammer and push it back in deeply to get the depth that I need. Now working on another gesture. This time the hand is close to the chest and give an indication of a finger here and there. That's all I need. Just get the gesture, get the movement going. I'm working on pictorial problems. Now I'm adding a little reinforcement to the hand on the left. I think I want a little bit of wire there in the hand. And we'll just see. We're going to play. We're going to play with this for a while. Now I'll build over the armature wire and I'll put it into fast motion so that you don't have to sit and watch. And basically build it out and play with the gesture for a while. Notice I pulled the hand on the right out a little bit. I don't think it's up against the chest right now. Now I think I've got the position of the hands in my mind somewhat as to what I want to do with them. But before I do anything definite, I double calibrate my measurements, make sure my measurements are accurate. I like, for my convention of the forearm, I like to use a head and an eye length from the elbow joint to the wrist joint. So one head and one plus one eye. Or two fingers, maybe 3 fingers. Not too long in the forearm, but adding a slight bit of length to the forearm, maybe above, just a little bit of length to add elegance. That'll elongate that thick hand that we're going to get here in a few minutes. Sometimes you have to make life difficult for yourself to get a better composition. As you can see, I pulled the hand away from the body. That's going to be a lot more work. But if it makes a better composition, then go for it. Sometimes the simple solutions are the best. Perhaps it's better to put that hand back up against the body. We'll see. But for now, it's going to be away from the body. When in doubt, square the form, then round it. Equal to the eyes, the hands tell a story. It's important to get the gesture of the hands exactly right. I've speeded the blocking in of the hands just so you can see the process. What we're striving for is a sense of delicacy, but a sense of sculptural as well. And with sculptural, I mean a sense of solidity. By a sense of solidity, I mean a mass, understanding masses and how masses work together and in harmony. You don't want disjointed little fingers popping around. You want them to flow into each other just as your drapery and hair flows, yet still attain that sense of mass. You don't want broken shapes. Notice how the shapes merge into each other and achieve a harmony without breaking. That's what I mean by sculptural. You don't want it to break apart visually. Once you achieve your mass, then you can strive to delineate the individual forms. Again, the hands, the bones radiate out of the wrist, through the hand, and into the fingers, with the knuckles being the widest point and the fingertips being the narrowest, almost as narrow as the wrist. Here I am back struggling with these wings. I had to get off the wings and go to the hands, and they still look like feathers, still look like leaves and not like feathers. And I've gotten too attached to the outcome of my work. And when I get attached to the outcome, then I struggle. I have to let go of that attachment to my work and just be witness to the work. I almost don't want to show this portion, but I think it's necessary because you see I'm going in there with fine tools, too fine of tools too early. I'm fatigued mentally, perhaps, a little discouraged, I don't know. My mind's playing games with me and it's jumping all around. But it's important to see that the futile parts of work as well as all the accomplishments. I want you to see the bad as well as the good. It is, for me, quite a struggle oftentimes. But when you finally achieve the sense of like what I'm going to start for is achieve a sense of featherness. Uh, I know I'll have when I have it. I know I'll have it. But for right now, I don't have it.